Oh, David.
Hey, what's up, Pat?
I didn't know you were going to be here.
Last minute thing.
Oh, cool. That changes the whole. that changes the whole. That changes the whole game for me. Hey, Will. Yeah, I this will be. A very informal discussion. Okay. So I guess I guess I'll start. And maybe we'll do introductions. I was going to introduce everyone individually, but I guess, okay, I'll start. I'm Pat Zabawa, Operations Director, a new title for me at Rank My Vote, since we have other volunteers filling in now for communications. Oh, hey, Ron. Ron, it's if you want to take over the meeting anytime, let me know. I didn't know that Ron and David were gonna come. I guess I'll start again. Yeah, Pat Zabawa, Operations Director at Rank My Vote, and I've been doing this in Rank My Vote since 2020. Yeah. Okay. We'll go. I want to go around real quick, but Ron, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself or you want me to introduce you. And you're not audible, though.
Ron. Sorry, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, no, I'm Ron. I've been on the leadership team here with Rank My Vote since 2020, and have had the executive director role the last 4 years or so. So we're 5 for 5 passing cities, and
nice.
Want to keep that going.
Will, you want to go?
Sure. I'm Will. I work out in Grand Ledge, and just a volunteer, kind of helping with any of the intake.
Thanks, Will. Thanks so much. Oh, and Will, I'll say I'm in Ann Arbor. So I will say originally, I thought it'd pretty much like be me and Will on this call, and Jeff and Tom, who asked to come. I did reach out to David, though. David, I didn't know you were going to come, so I thought it'd be like pretty informal. Like this is more just like we're going to train Will in data entry, and like with Jeff here, it'll be great. So I'm glad to see everyone join. Tom, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Tom. I live in Canton. Still new here. I haven't done really anything yet, but I guess I'm going to be on the onboarding process, doing that stuff.
Thank you for doing that. David.
Hi, everybody. I'm David. I'm in the Ann Arbor area, and I volunteered last year. Did some canvassing and some phone banking and things like that, and just excited to get back involved more this year as we move forward 2026.
Cool. Yes, excited to see you. Jeff.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Messer in Kalamazoo. I'm one of the lead volunteers here.
Oh, Jeff, you're on mute this time.
There you go.
I'm Jeff Messer, one of the lead volunteers here in Kalamazoo, and I've been officially a Rank My Vote volunteer since April 30, 2022.
Jeff's an old timer by now. Yep.
Cool. So this the scope of this call is larger than I initially planned it to be, but that is totally fine. I guess I can present. I worked on a lot of presentations recently, actually, but I can present. But I didn't actually specifically make one for this call. Still in the works. It's still in the works.
Well, while you're thinking about what you might want to pull up,
Yeah, I'm wondering just how much. I've always wondered. So everyone, I guess this is our first volunteering 102 session, and there's a lot of exciting things going on at Rank My Vote. I'm just wondering how much to do with the history of Rank My Vote. I guess I have a presentation for it that I can do real fast, and I guess to just say, for ranked choice voting 101, we'll keep as a separate session. So, Ron, did you want to?
Yeah, no, I figured while you were pulling up the presentation and get started, I could ask if anybody had any questions about, just what we're doing, kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I'll say
Answer.
On that, Ron, I will just answer those questions right away by presenting.
Okay. All right, that's cool. I don't know if while he's pulling it up, I don't know if some know, but Idaho got confirmation that they are going to be on the ballot. I don't know if Pat covered that prior to
I did not.
that word's getting around in the ranked choice circles across the country. So pretty excited about that. And I think, although they didn't cover it in the last email that went out, I think we're still waiting on Colorado. I believe the signatures are in and they're just waiting for confirmation, but so there's still a chance there could be one more state on the ballot this fall as well too.
So we don't think Arizona will make it?
They do not. Yeah, Arizona probably will not make it. But that's up to 4 states in 1 year. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh yes, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, I'll be real fast on rank my vote. But what is rank my vote? What are we? But a 501c3 and C4 nonprofit. So the difference between a C3 and C4 is the C4 can advocate for items to vote on, right? Specifically for us, a ballot question committee, so we can say vote yes on our ballot question. Nonpartisan, we don't want to be associated with the partisan bickering, and we are not associated with the partisan bickering that happens throughout our country. We're blending into the next point. We're grassroots, all volunteer. We don't have any paid staff. Ron and I and the rest of our leadership team and Jeff and the rest of our city volunteers are all volunteers, doing this out of passion, doing this because we care about our democracy and want to make it better. Going into our mission then, promoting and implementing ranked choice voting. And now as of late, specifically targeting a 2026 constitutional amendment in Michigan. When ranked choice voting, when Rank My Vote, was formed, we have a lot of experience now. Formed in 2019 to try to go for a 2022 effort. We didn't necessarily think we had the momentum. COVID happened, and so we. I do have the slide. I guess I'll just skip to that slide. Why don't we can talk about it. I'm getting ahead of myself. We in 2022 we were going for a ranked choice voting amendment 2022. We postponed that and instead, thought we would do a 2026 campaign because those years are the best for constitutional amendments and ballot initiatives in Michigan, and instead did some city efforts. So a campaign in Ann Arbor in 2021 and a petition drive and wins in East Lansing, Kalamazoo, and Royal Oak just last fall, which was only 9 months ago, but that was, it seems like it was a very intense effort to do 3 cities at once. But all these won. All of these were, East Lansing, and they were hard-fought wins. Jeff Kalamazoo passed by a much bigger margin with Jeff's good work. But David, thanks for your help, and the rest of our volunteers. And like I mentioned on the previous slide, we're specifically targeting a 2026 Constitution. It's 2023, but 2026 will be here tomorrow in terms of the number of volunteers, money, coalition partners that we will need to collect the 500,000 signatures that we need to put a ranked choice voting Constitution amendment on the ballot, and then win in 2026 with, you need 50% of the vote to win. So that's millions of voters. One advantage that we have over 2022 is now there's so many more people who are exposed to ranked choice voting. Is at least for politicos, it is not a new concept anymore. Although everyday voters will still need to message to them. We'll still need to get the word across to them of the benefits of ranked choice voting. And just to say that part, that's what we want to lead with. I know we haven't talked about the mechanics of ranked choice voting and those details, but something that we want to make sure that everyone is aware of. But when we want to talk about ranked choice voting, we want to lead with the benefits that maybe we can get to today, or maybe definitely Ron can present at RCV 101 next Wednesday, which is on the website events page. Okay, I have a quick slide on who is Rank My Vote, but our volunteer leadership, which this org chart is really small because there's it's not necessary for you to specifically read it, but we have a board of directors, and then Ron, executive director, and then me, operations director, and then all we're building up teams under us. Specifically, right now, communications, volunteer onboarding. I've asked Will on this call to head up data entry, which is specifically relevant here because actually right now, I'll just dive into that part. But when we get campaigns on the ground, we'll have people signing up for our email list, but on paper when people are at farmers markets. Right now, there's not much of that effort, except in Kalamazoo, where Jeff is doing good work. So this why I wanted this call was great, because then you two could kind of coordinate as to your experiences of their end. But just to show there's a lot of teams that are building up with volunteers underneath that. All right, where are we going? I already covered that, but Michigan constitutional amendment for ranked choice voting initiated by signature petition. So we don't have our cards. We're not hoping that the legislature is going to pass it and put it on the ballot or pass it and implement it. We plan to go the route of collecting signatures, which we have experience in. We did that in Royal Oak, Kalamazoo, East Lansing for the city charter amendments there. Got those validated by the clerks. The difference with the state is just the scale and the attention that it gets. When running a statewide campaign, you have to make sure all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, or else your opponents will find a legal loophole.
I think one thing I'll add there is one of the things we're working on now is earlier this year we had put together a sort of a 3-year strategy, right? So when any funders want to reach out or coalition partners want to understand what we're trying to do at a high level, we can say, hey, this is what our overall strategy looks like. But the next thing we're working on by the end of the summer is to complete a campaign strategy for the signature, because these kind of initiatives are almost like 2 campaigns. There's the first campaign, which is to try to get all the signatures, right? Which is a sort of a very different effort and how you approach that and have people out on the streets and so on and so forth. And then there's the campaign once you're on the ballot. Then in 2026, there's the campaign of education and the campaign of convincing and influencing people to vote yes for it at the end of the year. So there's really 2 separate campaigns. So what we're working on right now is putting the detail together of, who are the coalition partners we need, how many people on the street do we need between all the both us and all the coalition partners in order to get those number of signatures, how much money we need, how much to get through that first campaign and that signature drive. And that's something we're putting together right now so that when after Labor Day weekend, we'd like to be able to be in a position to really sort of kick this off and start to tell our volunteers, here are the very specific metrics we're going after, here are the very specific things we have to achieve, that kind of thing. So,
and adding on to that, we already have a volunteer heading up and organizing town halls for September, October. So that's our hope to really get out there. My last slide is I was presenting to another group. So I was talking about our needs and then what Michigan political consultants could bring. So I'll skip out on that part. yeah, where to go from here? I guess, I was, like I said before this, I was thinking I was just going to ask Will, about your availability? And the efforts, to help out, we're going to be, and then, Jeff, you could maybe, talk about like what the, because specifically to address, data entry. And Jeff, maybe you could talk about, what you do to enter data. But I know you're here now, David, too, so we could also have a conversation as to what you're, what you're interested in picking up.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first
Yeah,
thing
go on, Will.
we go and collect signatures from a bunch of people and compile them in paper. And then is there something where like one of us needs to certify them and submit them to like the state or counties, or, I'm like, or we're going to go research some of the process to make sure I go do this right.
Yeah, you have great thinking. You have great thinking. But actually, you don't need to worry about that right now.
Okay.
I don't need to worry about pretty much anything right now. Everything, it's pretty. We're just starting up. It's very easy. We've got time. The signature collection phase won't happen until next year at the earliest, and I don't know. That would be. We're not even thinking in terms of what would necessarily be involved in terms of the validation. It would be pretty involved, but you don't have to worry about that. We don't have to think about that right now. Hi, Jed. Thanks for joining the call.
Hey everyone, thank you. Sorry for my tardiness. Just finished work late.
Yep. No worries. We're kind of talking about specific volunteer needs at the point, but we can connect afterward. I go over the presentation that it began at the beginning. But I'm Pat Zabawa. I'm operations director at Rank Light. Thanks.
Hey, Pat, thank you. Yes, please don't let me hold everybody up. If I have to do one-on-one, I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
Pat, let me add to that for just a quick second, just to put a, we're talking about the campaign, the first one, which would be the signature drive, right? This is what Will just mentioned, right? Like we're going out and getting signatures and validating them and all that kind of stuff. That's going to happen in 2025. What at a high level, what our goal is this year is we have some very specialized teams doing like the legal work, right? So to write the constitutional amendment, right? Get it validated, get money to get some really strong legal eyes to make it rock solid, waterproof, legal proof, right? We have some certain very specific folks fundraising, for instance, right? So we're going to have some specific teams that have skills they're comfortable with there. What this group are the most of the roles really going to focus on for the rest of this year is just building our organization, like getting the word out through communications, right? People that raise their hand and say they want to volunteer, we want to figure out, okay, how do we bring them into the fold, right? Just like, funnel them to the Monday night meeting like we're doing right here, and talk about what kind of interest they have and skills they might have and how they might be able to help out. And then we assign them to the communication team or the data team or the tech team or the whatever skills they might have that they're interested in doing. That's what they're doing. But that's the goals of the organization change a little bit as you move over time. But for the rest of this year, it's about how can we bring as many volunteers and as many eyeballs watching what we're doing, following our newsletter, right? All that kind of as much as we can.
And bringing you in, Will, what I was thinking specifically then, from our back and forth was data entry. So the only thing that this year that pretty much the only thing that we could we would need help in terms of data entry with is when Jeff goes to the farmers market, he gets signups and with names and email addresses and an interest in volunteering and manually goes to our website and puts them in. Well, right now we only have a team in Kalamazoo doing that, but that could grow, as Ron mentioning, as the rest of the year, as we get more volunteers out there, and we could start getting a deluge of paper signups that we would need to enter. Just enter into the website, enter as the name, email address, and whatnot. And that's from our back and forth. I was thinking that you'd be a good fit for that, in terms of the way we were discussing. But
let me know how I can help make that easier, or set up other ways to sign up. So
sounds good. Cool. Jeff, could you speak, I guess, briefly to your experience and how many you're collecting right now? Anything else you want to say?
When you collect out at the farmer's market or whatever, get the zip code too, so we can geographically target where we send our emails. But yeah, I've been going out to the Bank Street Farmers Market every Saturday morning since the second weekend since Father's Day weekend, and I've gotten between 15 and 27 people who subscribe to the email list, and then a few, 2 to 5 of those who will sign up to volunteer. So since Friday, June 14th, I've collected 111 signups and 15 volunteers.
Nice.
Awesome.
Now we just need 100 more Jeffs, and we'll be kicking some booty. Yeah.
No, and it's like nice to know that that's a good place to go and talk to people too, because there's a local farmers market in the town here in Grand Ledge and a bunch of other areas. So
I would encourage everyone to get out to their farmers markets as soon as you can and just start, recruiting. What I say is that we're recruiting volunteers and we're also signing people up for an email list. So, if you can just get one of the big white sign and write Rank Choice Voting on it and just hold it. That's what I do. I've got one of the big signs and I just stand there. And some people just walk right up to me without me having to do anything. Of course, we've already had the successful campaign here, so we've already softened people up over the previous 2 summers. But I think you need some kind of visual aid. Really helps.
yeah. And do you have a form you use right now for it, or like a PDF or something that you can share with other people, or
Really large pieces of paper. When people see me standing there at the farmers market, that's where people do a lot of political activity anyway, and they know that the people standing on the sidewalks are engaged in some kind of political activity. So they think I'm collecting signatures for a petition, and then I tell them we're actually collecting signatures next year, mid to late April, and if they want to sign next year, then they can give us their email address now.
cool.
Yeah, we do have some
Templates for all that. Yeah.
for the signatures and for the printouts. And we kind of alluded to this, and like I said, this is our first volunteering 102. So Ron alluded to this, but I didn't. I wrote in my notes that I got to talk about this in the future of volunteer 102s. But that's something Jeff said is important, but also just like as we grow, just spreading the good word to the people about ranked choice voting, and that Rank My Vote is here, that we are doing a 2026 campaign that we can be subscribed to is really important. Personal touches are just 100 times more powerful than any of the ads that we'll do over the time of the campaign. So something that's really important to mention to you all, that I'm going to keep reminding you, and then you all can keep spreading the good word on. David, I guess I want to invite you to speak. If you have any particular volunteering interests, what you're thinking for this upcoming campaign.
I mean, I don't know that I have something I specifically want to focus on. I'm happy to help with anything. But like I said, I saw things you mentioned. I mean, everything from gathering more volunteers, going out and trying to recruit people, to town halls, to just if there's other just administrative things we need to do. Not that I have any particular expertise in social media accounts or what have you, but whatever we need people to do, I'm happy to come up with a plan that fills a need and moves us forward.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for your help in our 2023 campaigns. So definitely I'll get back with you. You do bring up something interesting, is that, and actually Will and maybe Jad, we can follow up after this about this, but maybe this is probably worth getting to. So for our 40 on 40 like town hall series, we probably will need local contacts who can get a room at the local library or knows more of somewhere to get. I don't say you, David, because we've got Ann Arbor covered pretty well. And Tom, we should probably talk about it too. But Will, that's something I'll follow up with you if you're able. We don't even necessarily have to be there, but just connect our speakers bureau with, how to reserve a room at the Grand Ledge Library or whatnot. Would be appreciated for our speakers campaign.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Tommy, what area are you from?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I live in Canton, so that's
Oh, right. You said Canton. Sorry.
a little bit east of Ann Arbor. Not too far at all. It's about a 15-minute drive. So.
Yeah. Well, I know that Christian is leading that, but I would think that aside from Ann Arbor, we would probably have the Canton area, the Dearborn area. We would probably want to do 2 or 3 presentations in that 40 and 40 in that area, right? So, yeah, anything Tommy could do to help sort of maybe scope out some good places to give those presentations in those areas, libraries, places where it's easy to present and so on, and have, you know, the right optics and so on to hear and give a presentation, but yet maybe have some fun. Yeah, it'd be great to assign someone in that area to look at options.
I can go look around.
Yeah, that would be great.
I can't drive. I'm blind, actually, but I can get someone to drive me and go have them look around for me.
That's okay. I mean, you can do some of that research probably online to at least narrow down some of the options. Then someone can go check them out. That'll be cool.
Yeah, Tom, I'll follow up with you, but it wouldn't necessarily mean necessarily even going there. You know, calling the place would be good.
Yeah.
We can talk about it.
And Jad, what's sorry, Tommy, do you want to say something?
Oh, no.
I was going to ask Jad and Christina to introduce themselves.
Oh, yeah,
so you're right, Ron. Yeah, go on, Ron. But yeah.
Christina, you want to go first?
Hi, Christina Dorette here from Kalamazoo. Is that all you needed, or what did you want? I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
No, you don't have to do anything else necessarily. Christina's been a long time volunteer lead with us.
Yes.
Thanks for joining, Christina. When I was saying at the beginning, I thought this call would just be like me, Jeff, and Will at the beginning. I thought it'd be really intimate and like we could talk about data entry. So,
I'm sorry I'm late. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Jad, if you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jad. I live in downtown Detroit. My family is from the Bloomfield area, and I grew up in Dearborn, just to give you the full scope or range there. I know that there's a variety of different roles, so forgive me again for missing the presentation there. But just going to throw this out there in case you guys have a good idea. I work in operations. I work in small businesses and startups. I'm the chief of staff of a med spa and then a special projects manager for another small startup. So I love operations. I do a lot of tech work and I love public speaking. So whatever you guys got, I'm happy to take. One other plug that I have, I don't know how much we can use this or like when it's the right time to use it. My mom is very well connected in the Dearborn administration. So if there's some type of resource that we can use there, happy to poke my mom there. The other piece is in early August, first weekend of August, I think Dearborn has their homecoming festival, which is quite large. So that might be a good spot to have a table or something for this southeastern Michigan portion, or at least the Dearborn area.
That sounds like a good one. Dearborn's a great, I mean, it's kind of been on our target list for the last 2 years, just because there's a lot of elections won in the Dearborn area for the last 2 decades with less than 50%. There's always a lot of candidates running, a lot of candidates winning with, 20 to low 30%. And there's some demographics there that always feel like because of split voting and so on, they feel a little bit disenfranchised. So that's I think the ranked choice message plays really well in that area. So
absolutely. And I know Detroit has a festival every weekend in Hart Plaza this summer, so that's probably another good spot.
That's fantastic, Jed, that you are comfortable with public speaking. So now the question is, how do you get opportunities to be able to address a crowd? So besides the farmers markets and the festivals, there's also things like the Rotary Club meetings, interfaith alliance groups. So that's what you need to now reach out using your mother's connections, hopefully, and others to try to seek out opportunities to get on some people's agenda. I think they will normally give you between 10 to 15 minutes, but you can tell the ranked choice voting story, in that time. So, the fact that you're comfortable with public speaking, 20 points, man.
Absolutely.
Now we just got to figure out where to put him in front of.
Yeah, throw me in front of anything. I have no shame, so I'll figure it out. We'll nail it after a couple practice rounds, and then we'll get up there.
Good.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, yeah, no,
To that point, Jad, certainly operations, yes, could be helped. And then we're Christian's just starting up Speakers Bureau with trainings and like you mentioned. So lots to follow up with you on.
Yeah, let me know.
Ron, you were saying?
No, that's good. Absolutely.
So, Jad, do you have other people around you from the Dearborn area so that you can fan out to create opportunities for you to be able to address, various crowds?
That's a good question. I know of people who may be able to get me in front of others, if that makes sense.
Perfect.
Using the 5 steps away from everybody. There's a better term for that, but yes, yeah. And then I'm a part of a fellowship program called Venture for America. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Andrew Yang, who started Venture for America, also just did a TED Talk on ranked choice voting.
Yes.
And so I may be able to convince a few fellows in my program to help out as well. I'm not sure if I can. Don't quote me on that yet, but I'll definitely be in their ear.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, obviously, Wayne County, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 chapters that will be established once we kind of get the chapter thing rolling in the fall. That's going to be a place where we want to get an established chapter going. So,
and I was going to say, I guess, to expand on your point, Ron, so kind of what we're talking about in terms of Rank My Vote as an organization. So we've grown in those past campaigns and then shrunk again, but right now, when Ron's talking about chapters, right now we're staffing up kind of specific positions and teams. So operations like will and data entry, speakers bureau, which we've mentioned a couple times, to lead the 40 on 40, and then just be available.
Communications,
communications. But speakers bureau will just be available when a group needs a talk, and that team will have people available. And then from there, once those specific staff sort of teams were built out, then we'll start establishing local chapters, on the ground people, which Jeff and Christina are already doing in Kalamazoo, but have those around Michigan to have be at the farmers market every weekend and be at local meetings, be really embedded in the community and know what, like Christina was saying, kind of what local events are happening. Like Jad, like you were saying, what local events are happening, what to table at, and have people who are local who can be at all those things. We're not there at the immediate moment, but Christina, I see you're inviting Jad to already started now, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's good. We'll get there. And one of the things when we were growing quite a bit in 2020, one of the lessons learned that we had was we grew almost too fast. Our chapters grew too fast, that we didn't have enough support for them in the core groups, like communications, like documentation and speakers bureau, and all the different groups that need to be in place for the chapters to really do well and be supported with content and things that they need. So what we really want to do this time, and Katie Fahey and she leads a group called The People out of Grand Rapids, and she was one of the key leaders that formed Voters Not Politicians. One of the things she's helping us with over the next 2-3 months is to get all that in place, so that when we really, and chapter leaders are, ready to go and start to, give a lot of presentations and stuff, that we really have enough, sustainability to support them. So that's why, I think it's great if some chapters kind of organically get going right now. That's fine, but we're not trying to push the chapters just yet, because we just want to make sure we can support them when they're ready to go.
And Jad, I guess I don't know how much history you know, or you weren't here at the beginning, but Ron mentioned 2020. So Rank My Vote was formed in 2019 to start in 2022 with the target of a 2022 ballot initiative for ranked choice voting. But we didn't think COVID happened, and we didn't think we necessarily had the momentum to get it. So we ran our city campaigns, in 2021 and last fall. That all won, and gearing for 2026 now.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Like with our I mean, we're probably going to grow fast from here, especially with our town hall series this fall. We'll really be out there, leverage the presidential election. And
now, I know, Pat, I know you had the first meeting with the communications group, right? So they're off the ground now a little bit. Is there does it look like right now you would need to add to that core team right now, or are they good enough for now to get off the ground? I don't know if you know anybody from here or not.
That's a good question. I think it's more of a question for Ryan, for the comms lead. We're having our second meeting tomorrow, so it's meeting every week. So I'll catch up with Brian tomorrow. But for everyone who mentioned Speakers Bureau, probably probably Christian could use the help on that, and then or at least you could be if whoever's willing to be trained up, and could just give us feedback on the presentation would be great. That I'll connect you with. Yeah, but I agree with you. Ron, I should probably be more armed with that information in terms of what exactly is needed on communications at the present moment. But I think they're just settling in, and I'll follow up with everyone on this call individually tomorrow if communications does need more help. Just putting that in my notes.
How is our Facebook page doing?
Yeah, there has not been activity that I've seen.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we really need to drum up Facebook and Instagram.
That's why I brought it up.
We need to, So what that means is that we need photos, right? Photos, not necessarily of the volunteers, but it could be photos also of the, the ballot that it looks like, and maybe putting some of those videos that we saw on fairvote.org that explains the process. If we can put that on Instagram constantly. But right now everyone is talking about the Trump attempted assassination, and that whole RNC stuff. So now's the time to get all of our tools into our toolbox. So the videos, the Facebook, the Instagram. Then after the election is when we can go real hard to get things done. That's my little contribution. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, no, I think Facebook and Instagram are just, a critical tool to help spread the word, right? So the more people are coming and seeing it, the more people are sharing it, the more, we're doing that is critical. But the communication team will also focus on newsletter updates. So all the folks that are just following us, they might not be volunteering, but following us, they need to keep updated, be updated once or twice a month on what we're doing. And the other thing we're going to start working on is letters to the editor. So and we'll talk about that a little bit later in a couple of weeks. Is we're trying to do a big emphasis across the state of how many different media, sort of groups or organizations can we write sort of a letter. I mean, the traditional term is letter to the editor, but it could just be letters to the media group. So how do we start to get the word out about ranked choice and about how Michigan will likely be split? Right. I mean, there's really, really good chance that whoever wins Michigan's going to win with like 44%. Kennedy's polling at 8%, right? I mean, the Green Party is always at 1 or 2%. Libertarians are at 2 or 3%, right? So that means that whoever wins the state's going to win with noticeably less than 50%. So we want to start getting that kind of things out there, and so that in November we can say, hey, we told you so, and we really need ranked choice to help solve the majority issue, right? Anyway, so that's what's included. That's kind of what the comms team is going to get off the ground about. And then once the chapters once the chapters start forming, they're going to need a team that can help those chapters communicate, right? Really spread the word for the events they're planning locally, and right, they need a comms team that can really just jump on those things and get the word out. I know Christine and Jeff were always asking, can we do more? Can we, when we were doing Kalamazoo and same in East Lansing, can we do more with getting the word out of events that we're having and what ranked choice is, and dispel some of the rumors that we're getting around the city from maybe some leads or some council members that we want to dispel, right? The better and stronger our communications team is, the more likely we can get those things out in the ethos.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like there's a lot of different things of like, okay, we need content. So it's like, what are videos we need to get out? Do we have like a place to compile all that? And then do we have a place to compile like all the like counties and things that you could, go to, so these people can start just knocking it out?
Yeah, no, social media is one of the easiest. I always think it's one of the easiest ones to do, because yes, we can have our own content and things that we can share periodically about exactly what's happening in Michigan. Like, so if the 40 and 40, right, once we have all those dates set, right, we can start communicating those, but there's also just a ton of content you can leverage. And Christina was kind of, Jeff, I think, mentioned something about it too. Like, you don't have to like create all this content from scratch. There's great content being shared like all the time from different, so more than half, if not 70% of a lot of the shares that we would do would just be leveraging stuff we've seen and say, hey, that's cool. I like that. Let's get that on the schedule for Wednesday, right? Or whatever, and get it out.
And
Yeah.
when we had it on the ballot in Kalamazoo, we got quite a lot of like news coverage, press articles, interviews. If we could save that into our communications bank and then just keep putting it out there,
Yeah.
you know. Because right now it's just about information sharing and also to just get the community interested. You know, we gather more followers and you know, yeah.
Yep.
It was almost all with you, Christina.
No.
Well, no, I say that as a good thing. I say it as a credit thing. No, I'm not all. No. You were great. You were great in them. I say it to mean like you were great in them. But yeah, not exclusively with you for sure. Other volunteers, and then certainly getting people in the community to comment was like the best. The best thing of all when people in the community were answered the interviewers with our talking points.
So who's got the Instagram account? Oh, we don't have one. Jeff can start it real quick for you. If you will just give him the pass, the green light. Yeah, am I correct, Jeff? I don't want to speak for you.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
What about TikTok?
We've been trying to recruit him.
TikTok. What do you mean you've been trying to recruit him? He's been ready, right? I think we just haven't given him the keys to the communication kingdom.
Well, on this point specifically, I think. I mean, I can check, but I've been trying to work with Jeff to give him access. But I can double check. I don't think that's worked yet, but I can double check. But in general, you know, the communications team is having its second meeting tomorrow, so hopefully, really takes off from here. But if not, then
Does Jeff know the details of be able to join that call?
No, I could send them to you. And then, Will, you seem to be interested, so I can send them to you too, if you're so interested. But like I said, I'll follow up with you, Will, David, Jad after this. Tom, you're already going to be there in that call, so I'll put that in my notes to send Jeff the comms team info.
One more thing, if I could just suggest, is also reach out to existing groups. You know, like what Jad said about the Forward Party and Andrew Yang. Similarly, the DSA, Democratic Socialist Organization, is also very amenable to, and so you have to start building those relationships in your local townships and cities with the Democratic National DNC party over there. Not that the DNC is not exactly very supportive of us, so just a word of warning. But you have to start building those relationships, because at some point we want to be able to say, hey, I'd like to address your group. And it takes about 6 months. They need to see you about 6 months at different meetings before they will trust you enough to give you an opportunity. So the groundwork starts now. And you can take it slow, but the whole idea is consistency, and they have to keep seeing your face. You go for every music festival, you go for every farmer's market. That's how everybody recognizes Jeff. You know, every time they see him and he's wearing his Rank Choice Vote Me t-shirt, they just come up to him and start talking to him about ranked choice voting. So that's it. You got to create that character.
Very good.
Yeah.
Will, you asked, when we talked before we got into social media, you were asking about a list of county, I didn't exactly get what you were saying, a list of county things, city things?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like you're trying to knock off like all sorts of stuff. So kind of like the question is, how do you want to start organizing that? So my background is data engineering, and so I'm always collecting things, figuring out forms, and trying to figure out, you know, what are the 3 things you really need to get, you know, 50 pieces of data.
Got it. I perhaps you probably wrote that and I probably went over it. Data engineering. Okay, well then we could have projects for you. Well, that we don't even mention out of all the things. Yes, in terms of like, yeah, I guess to that point specifically, you know, all of this CRM data, and then maybe eventually polling data. To your point, in terms of all these things we want to tackle. Yeah, we're just throwing out lots of things. I know it sounds really like you don't have to stress out about all these things for sure. And I'll write a review to everyone. You know, everyone I want to send a review from this call. But all the things that we said are important, but all things that we're working on, and that we will work on, and that we'll collectively work on, after we get the team set up, or you're welcome to talk to local groups now and start building those relationships. But after we get teams set up, and then having steps of like, here's how you can start a local chapter and start contacting your local groups. So all in good time. Yeah, like at a leadership level right now, we are working on those coalitions with like the large coalition partners, and setting up these calls as the first of these calls, and downstream volunteer onboarding, so that we can start filling in the grassroots volunteers to do those things.
Is there a process that we use, like as we're brainstorming here and throwing out ideas? Like somebody mentioned like, oh, if we just got a list together of all the different organizations, or all the different media entities. I'll just say newspapers, just to make it simple. Newspapers, magazines, whatever, that accept letters to the editor. And then the idea, if someone says, well, great, if someone or some group of someone's did an analysis, okay, let's just search through Michigan and find all the local town papers in Michigan, and somebody at some point is going to compile a list. Here's all of them. Here's all their contact information. The phone number, the name of the editor, the email address, etc. And then that, once we have it, that's what, as we're sending out these letters to the editor, whatever that cadence would look like. But there's that effort that we can do up front, versus like I go, oh, well, I subscribe to the Detroit, and somebody else subscribes to MLive, or whatever, and we oh, here's 6. We could probably like tackle that and have whatever 50 or 100, and there's the list. Is there a place? We'll go like one level above that. Do we have a place as we come up with ideas like that we can just throw these things, these brainstorming ideas or suggestions, so that then there's the idea of A, just what have we talked about, and then B, the synergies. If Will sees something and he goes, man, that's right up my alley, or I see something, I go, and that's what I do every day, and who put it in there? Well, Christina put it in there, I should talk to her, and we can flesh out, how we want to tackle this. Do we have anything like that for a tracker or a discussion?
That's a great idea. I don't think we do. I'll defer to you, Ron, if you do, or if we've had that in 2020.
As we're doing this meeting, I'm, thinking about next week when we do it, how we can do it better in terms of, I think what you're trying to get at is when someone has an idea, right? We should all know, okay, who are the key people to say, oh, if that's letter to the editor, if that's is that communication, talk to the communication person and say, hey, can we do that as part of that team, right? And are willing to organize it, or whatever it might be.
So
we do want to get to the point where we have someone to go to.
Something to get it down, even if it's not like who to go to. But sorry, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, as long as there's someone we can go to say, hey, I'll take that on as part of my team, and anyone who's interested in doing that, send them my way, right? But that's where we're in the process of forming now, right? You got the communications team going, legal team going, volunteer onboarding going. Keep getting these groups going. Places to send these ideas to.
I earlier talked to someone who wants to lead the fundraising team, Ron, too. So.
Really?
Yeah.
God bless them.
Yeah, exactly. Where'd you find this creature? It's not natural.
Yes, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's I can give presentations and I can talk, but I still suck at asking people for money. That's not my.
Yeah.
It's not my. Not my
I
thing.
suck at it. I suck at it too. So don't.
That's why we don't send a lot of emails, because I hate doing it.
Yeah.
So finding someone who wants to be good at it, bring them. So yeah. Okay, well, I'll let you finish up, Pat. I got to run.
Yeah, I don't have anything else specifically. But yeah, we certainly we can stay on. But thanks, Ron.
Okay.
You got it.
I was just going to make one comment, David, to your point about coming up with a list of all the periodicals or newspapers that we can write to. I mean, by all means, get a list going. But, I wouldn't be too concerned about creating an exhaustive list. Just whatever periodical that you read, write to that one. I'm not kidding, because we spend a lot of time doing this, and it's kind of busy work. We want to be exhaustive. We want to be systematic about it. But sometimes it's like guerrilla warfare. You come out, you do something, and then very often, if your article is provocative enough, it'll be carried by another newspaper, and so you'll be contacted. So that there is a whole process right there. So just connect with what you have. Just start. Don't be afraid to start. I guess would be my thing, because when Jeff and I started this thing, we had no clue. We were just like, what should I say? Like, just going with our gut feel and standing outside. But it's just about investing the time and being at a place where people will start to recognize you. Like when I go out now, even without my ranked choice voting T-shirt, they all say, "Hey, you're ranked choice voting lady." You have to start. Yeah, I mean that's if you had any thoughts of being a private citizen, then you can lose that now. Because your identity has to be tied up with a campaign, because you want people to come and ask you questions. I mean, that's the truth. I'm a private person. I did not have a Facebook account. I don't have an Instagram account. But now look at me. I mean, I don't have either of those, but I will generally post on the rank my vote stuff. So all I'm saying is just start. Don't worry about being complete. Just start. Here's my granddaughter's name. Bye. All right. Bye. Is it that time?
Yeah, you can head out, Christina, if you want.
All right, gotta go.
Yeah, take care,
everybody, and thank you for joining the call. And hey, chin up. We'll make it. We'll make it. See ya, Pat.
Thanks.
Jeff.
Good to see you.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, so you're all kind of experiencing live us formulating our plans as rank and vote. So this is the first time I had this call. Before this, I was doing like one-on-ones with people. Like that's how I met Tom, and that's probably what I'll still do with all of you to follow up. Just so that's the best way to like find the fit of like what team you could do, what you could work on. I think. And just developing your skills. Yeah, Jad, you go on. Yeah.
Sorry, I as an operations person, I am curious. Do you guys have one central point of information for everything? Is there some sort of operating system or software on the back end that the team operates off of? Will's laughing, so I don't know if I should be scared of the answer or not scared of the answer.
No, go for it. I actually work in tech too. I worked in tech, a million years. And so I do Jira. I'm gonna laugh. Personally, I have a Notion and an Airtable and a Jira and an Apple Notes, and sometimes then use a spreadsheet. Internally, no. The answer is no. I mean, we have Google Docs and we have all the Google tools, but right now, I'm actually kind of setting one up. I mean, I don't know what we did in the 2020 campaign, because I joined leadership kind of at the end of that. For our campaigns, for city campaigns, I was very on the ground. I'm getting into the weeds. But no, we didn't have any stuff. So right now, I'm literally like Googling. I have literally Googled like free tools that scale to unlimited users, and I started using ClickUp as a project management tool. Yes, but that's the answer. The answer is no, because really until like last month, it's really been Ron and I pretty much, and we've been pretty quiet. We've been kind of developing. We were kind of fundraising. We really wanted to hire a staffer to do this, and that didn't work out. We got some money, but that didn't work out. I'm telling you all the inside weeds. But after the 2023 campaigns, we really wanted to focus this year on like hiring a staffer so that we didn't. And you could have one central staffer.
For a relatively low cost coda. It's I think it's an upgraded Notion personally.
Okay.
It's pretty much a no code software. I use it very, very often for work. And you could build any type of processor flow on it generally. So forms could be filled out on there. You could kind of build your own CRM if you wanted to.
Oh, got it.
or project manager, whatever you need. It's my go-to tool for any of the small businesses I start helping out.
Got it. To your point on like signups and forms and whatnot, I mean, we do, and we have since the beginning have, like, I think you all signed up on the website form. It's all every action, which is one of the couple of political tools that most campaigns use in terms of it collects all of the sign-ups, subscribers, donors, and email that you can send out to your emails and segment your audience. So we do have that.
Gotcha.
It's not a project management tool, but it does manage our subscribers.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, Coda, you only have to pay for the editor or the admin, and then everybody else is free.
Okay. Got it. That's good to know. Because when I look into these, I'm like, we're gonna have a huge org. We can't pay $15 a month to spend all our donations on software.
Mm-hmm.
Like $15 per user.
Yeah, it's a lot. It stacks up quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's always the hardest part is like, where do you start your stack of information and like, how do you do it at like low cost or no cost if possible?
From that, I mean, obviously from like the business world, also historically worked for an IT company, consultant, things like that. But I mean, so there's things I assume or take for granted. If I was going to launch an implementation project for our products for one of our customers, like I know exactly how I would lead that team. For what we're trying to do here, do we have a list of kind of needs or things that we're seeing? I mean, the idea that then, well, I'll leave it there. Do we have a list, or is that something people want to think about and discuss, or as you said, in one-on-ones or something of needs for tooling?
That's a great question, and I'm going to have to end this call because the library closes at 8, and I am going to have to go. But to your point, David, I think maybe this group ought to get back together. I think maybe we should start becoming the operations team and coming up with those ideas. So I might. So I think I will, get back with you all on this when I call up with you all one-on-one. So anything else before we go? Anyone has to say?
No, thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks for all your contributions and enthusiasm. It really is awesome. Yeah, it's like we can change the world. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what like empowers me. And my working on this every day after work. It's like we're changing the world. Okay, like I said, I'll follow up with you all individually. I should within the next couple of days. I mean, if I don't, feel free to email me. Yeah, I'm just looking at your notes, Jeff. Okay, thanks again, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up icon located outside of the video window. Then leave a comment and press the subscribe button to see more videos like this and everything Kalamazoo.